David, let me come to you. We have another important topic to talk about, and this one is important to me personally because, as you may know, we've been renovating our house. So we bought a new house last year. We've been renovating piece. Well, poor Richie got to the hardware, and they say you can only get one bag of cement. Trying to renovate a whole house, and they're only sending you one bag of cement at a time. So I know exactly what's going on out there right now. There is a cement shortage. Well, David, you explained what's happening with cement and how this is impacting the whole construction sector.
Well, according to the Minister Auburn Hill, the cement shortage has already ended, but I don't know what reality he lives in, but the hardwares are screaming, the contractors and the developers are screaming, but it's not a pretty situation. So what's going on? So the country has one sole cement manufacturer. That would be Carib Cement Company Limited. That is on the JSC, right? They have an annual shutdown every year to do maintenance. So similarly to how you would have your car and you take it for maintenance probably every 3 months, 6 months based on how you use it. For Carib Cement, they have an annual shutdown they do every year. Sometimes they defer it, but they usually have a shutdown, right? So basically, they'd have had the shutdown between July and part of September, and as one of the few entities in the country that actually has a permit to import cement, they'd have imported about 25,000 tons of cement, to carry them through that disruption. However,
So
what's
how
happened was
long is this scheduled disruption? You say it's every year, and for how long does it typically last?
that I cannot tell you because here's the thing about it. Back in 2021, they were shut down for 3 weeks, and that was the longest shutdown in their history at that point in time. But during these shutdowns at the moment, Carib Cement is completing their expansion right now. So remember, Carib Cement is doing our US $40 million expansion to increase the production capacity by 30%. And to do that expansion, they have to connect different pieces and parts during the shutdown as well. So I am not sure if this expansion has further exasperated that timeline for this year's shutdown. Carib Cement didn't give full context on that on the length, but they would have imported cement to cover them during that period of shutdown where they cannot produce cement. They said they imported about 25,000 tons of cement. However, we have had Hurricane Beryl, which leveled the south coast, and persons would have been trying to get back to their normalcy in their lives and complete their own projects. So the cement that Carib Cement had imported was quickly finished. So now they're finished with their shutdown. It's back to production, but now you have a big market glut in the sense that all the cement was exhausted, and the cement is really in the market is basically being rationed now based on Carib Cement trying to back everybody's demands because we have so many mega projects in the country right now that are at the same time, alongside regular real estate, alongside you mentioned your home renovations, and that demand is quite substantial. So they're basically playing a game of cat and mouse and catching up right now, and they're struggling, which is where you've seen some of the hardware say, "Hey, open up the imports," because as it currently stands, you need an import to import cement into the country. So you cannot, and there's actually a tariff that's also attached importing cement. So you cannot necessarily just say, "Hey, I'll import cement myself," until the Carib Cement sort themselves out. You have to literally get a permit from a particular ministry. Then you have to actually find a ship that is willing to carry that cement in, to carry it into the ports, pay a tariff to get the cement. And although we have buying house cement, which is another importer, they have a quota of 120,000 tons of cement each year, which is about 10,000 tons per month. And even for them, they can ask for an increase in the waiver, but when does the ministry give that waiver increase? So, even though Carrington is going to be expanding their capacity going forward, it is still a very important discussion because, in effect, the market is left to the mercies of Carib Cement's, I should say, moral suasion on how to respond to the market demand. Because whereas buying house cement has a very tight, restriction on their permit to 120,000 tons per year, Carrier Cement can request an increase in imported cement based on the market situation, but they chose not to. They just chose to finish the shutdown, such expansion, and get back to producing quickly. In this case, about 4,000 tons of cement per day, in some instances. Because they're
So
working
what was the
24 hours.
what was the government's response to this request to free up the imports?
According to Minister Hill, on Friday, I believe it was in the Senate, he said, that some of the importers should have used their quotas and everything. But one thing that I would have appreciated, so that I'm clear, is who are the other importers? Are there other permits out there? Because once again, you cannot just say, hey, here's the waiver increase, just import. You still have to find the ships to carry the product into the country. So Mr. Hill kind of gave a comment about it, but reality is buying house, there are application, done about the success of that, and Carrier Cement to just continued idly buy as if nothing is going on. So right now, it's kind of a rough time to be a Jamaican because cement short, rum short, and very soon your package from Shein going to take a little bit more time to actually reach Jamaica. So I don't know what is not short at this point, to be
So
honest.
because of the port strike?
Port strike, basically, yes, Kalilah, and in the case of Rear Nephew, they have to be, prioritizing the future over present. So while term is not short. Somebody said that somebody went to PriceSmart, a restaurant to PriceSmart to buy 15 bottles of rum, and he couldn't leave with 5. Somebody went to a hardware and they couldn't buy 10 bags of cement. So
That's what I'm
there
telling
is
you. They were
there
rationing the cement, just one bag at a time. Come back tomorrow and buy another bag. It was ridiculous. So Sean has a question. Sean wants to know, won't this also cause an artificial spike in cement prices, which will have a domino effect, causing house prices to go up too?
it's not necessarily that's not necessarily the case, because we have to remember there is a glut in the market, and the truth of the matter is, if that glut is not being met, you're having further repercussions in the rest of the economy anyway. So let's put it into perspective, right? If you don't have cement, you cannot do a lot of other things unless you're going to develop a house, that food for the poor develops, which is your zinc, your wood, and so on. You cannot move forward with certain processes or even stages of a construction process without cement to make concrete. So the hardware should say, hey, versus around like 35, 80% when we check your week on week, month over month. Why? Because if you don't have cement, you're not going to necessarily want to buy other fittings or other products to move forward in the construction process. So while somebody might be like, hey, when you put in cement increase housing prices, remember this is a market glut. It's going to correct itself in the short term, yes, but during that interim period, if work is not actively going on at the construction sites, those construction workers are earning less money. They're paying their staff less, or their staff are not earning that much money.
Right.
So the thing is that short-term increase in prices that person might have to pay for that imported cement. I'm sure they'll be willing to swallow it just to know that hey, they have cement to continue working because once again, no cement, the site have to close. Site have to close, you cannot work as a laborer. You can't work as
Time
a
is
laborer,
money.
you cannot get paycheck. If you have money, there's room in the bar to get either. So
Time is money. Absolutely.